All right, let's try that again. Share to WhatsApp. All right. All right. So I am I don't know how to move this because I'm not going to be behind here very much, but we'll turn this around, I guess. I'll get my back, most of it. Excuse me?
We're on Instagram?
This is YouTube.
Oh.
So YouTube Live. So all right. So I'm going to start off first and foremost. I just want to tell you, I am super honored and excited to run this session for you and help you understand that this is not just a regular old meeting. I mean, this is the first taste, if you will, of like a Leadership Academy type of meeting and type of preparation that we're going to get done today. And really have a few outcomes of what we want to create. Is number one is really to lock arms as a unit, as an alliance, and help us synergize. That'd be number one. Number two is I want to make sure that we map out a plan and we feel good about a plan of action for your push. And number three is to really outline the expectations of what it means to be on Michael Brownwood's 10K Alliance. So this is not a phone jam. This is not a team meeting. I mean, this is just raw, like lay down the law. And I'll tell you, at this point in time, I had 3 people, and I'll be completely blunt and straightforward. I had 3 people that when I had a one-on-one with them, they're like, yeah, I'll follow through. And then after like marinating and contemplating and weighing things out, and they've already decided that they're not ready to commit to what I'm asking for. And there's a saying that the cowards never go, the weak die off, and only the strong survive. And I will tell you that you sign up and you commit, and what we're about to go through together as an alliance, as a team, who you become at the end of this process is the best version of you. That's what we're after. So I just want to let you guys know that. And I thank you for being here. I printed off, this is just an idea of some of the topics that we're going to be going over during our Alliance morning sessions. Waking up early and going through morning workshops, that probably should be enough. Waking up early and going through morning workshops, that's not what the Alliance is. The Alliance is not about waking up early. You guys did that all throughout your whole life in high school. Any extras? Waking up early and going to school, thank you. That's not tough. That's not tough. You've done that your whole life. So waking up early and learning some stuff, that's not the tough part. But what we learn and go over during those morning sessions are right here. I want you to take a moment. Let's take a peek at what you can expect to learn during those morning sessions. And I want you to put a little star as we go through some of these that you're saying, man, that kind of lands with me. I'd like to learn that. I'm looking forward to learning that. So let's see what that looks like. So we got how to project confidence, how to connect with another person with nonverbals, how to sell cookware, how to sharpen, cut, go, and upgrade. I'm trying to recruit Dylan Fitz to one of those mornings to teach that. How to have customers do phone time for you, how to address your biggest or deepest fears and release them, how to practice stillness of the mind, share goals effectively, create a sale on every demo by creating a problem effectively, selling business gifts, make obstacles seem less intimidating, reframe a no into a yes, express effective gratitude for your teammates and those important in your life, change your emotional state by acting out different types and control your emotional response, leverage your biggest challenge to overcome them and help them see that it's a gift, collaborate as a team, communicate with your future self as your current self, replace the word no with yes, burn your fears, anchor your meaning or compelling why, add units of conviction by Tony Robbins, build effective rapport mirroring, notice the client's core values index, and tailor your appointment towards what they need. These are some of the topics that I've come up with for these morning sessions. Now, my goal is to hit on each of these over the course of those 14 meetings and those 14 mornings, and allowing us to unlock and unfold some of these. So when we do this quick rapid fire 10 seconds or less, what's hot, what do you appreciate right now? I'd like for you to plug one or two or three of those that you just starred. So right now, what are you excited about? What are you excited about? What do you appreciate right now? More focused on the push than life. And what are you most excited about learning over the course of these next couple of weeks as we lock arms together? So, what are you excited about? What do you appreciate right now? And what are you most excited to learn? So we'll start with Caroline. We'll go around here. We'll end with Will. Please.
Most excited about is the SC push, SC2 push. The other two was what?
It's just two things. So what do you appreciate right now? And out of that list, what jumps out at you that you're most excited to learn?
Communicate with your future self as your current self.
Excellent. Cool. Grant, we'll go right down the line. Grant, Sierra, and then RJ.
What's hot came off of a little disappointing week. Have like a whole ton of demos booked for next week. And what I'm excited for is learning how to sort of tailor my appointments towards what my clients need.
Excellent. Excellent. Sierra, RJ, then Bella.
What do I appreciate? I'm excited for my appointments for tomorrow. Getting those 4 sales in. And what I'm looking forward to is how to create a sale on every demo by creating a problem effectively.
Excellent. RJ, Bella, Josh.
I'm excited about pushing the hypothetical limit of myself over this next period of a couple weeks, and the biggest thing I'm excited to learn is how to sharpen and upgrade and sell business gifts.
Excellent. Bella, Josh, and then Riley.
What's hot, what I appreciate right now is having my first 2K week. And then what I'm most excited about is how to express effective gratitude for your teammates and that's important to you in your life.
Excellent. Josh, Riley, and then Hannah.
What's hot? What do I appreciate? Unrelated, but I touched 100 on Friday with a baseball. And
Wow. Very hot.
Not as impressive as that sounds. And then what I'm most excited about to learn is how to address your biggest, deepest fears and release them.
Cool. I think that kid, what was his name, Blake, or from Pasco? I think he might have reached 100 with that dodgeball.
It's like the same way. It's not really a baseball. It's a plyo care ball, but it's not as much as a baseball.
Yeah,
It's
still,
not that impressive.
still good stuff. Still good stuff. We'll go Riley, and then Hannah, and then Steven.
What do I appreciate? That everybody's sacrificing their night to come hang out and do this meeting. And what am I most excited? Probably how to reframe a no into a yes is my biggest.
Excellent.
Biggest thing.
Excellent. Hannah, and then Steven, and Jules, Josh, and then Will.
What I'm excited about is kind of like RJ's, just like seeing my full potential. One of my things that I'm excited to learn is the same as Riley is how to reframe, to a yes. A lot of times I just give up after the no.
Yeah. So how to reframe it. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Steve?
What's hot is this week coming up. It's only a good one. And what I appreciate is this meeting. And what else? Oh yeah. And what I'm most excited about is how to make obstacles seem less intimidating.
I'm excited about that too. That's gonna be a fun one for you guys for sure. We'll go Jules, please.
What's hot is I'm going on vacation. I'm excited to learn how to have customers do phone time for you.
Good. And then Josh, and then Will.
I'm excited just I just got back into town, ready to start sewing again, and I'm excited to learn about sharpening and upgrading my prep. Just because I think that's gonna open the door for a lot more of the clients I can see.
Excellent. Cool, and then Will, take us home.
What's hot was I just had 10K in my savings account, and I'm really excited to get out of the office, and I'm excited also to notice and recognize anybody CBI, and to kind of not necessarily tailoring my appointments to that, but just tailoring my daily interactions with people based off of that. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. And core values index, I mean, that's definitely a TLA topic, but I want to introduce you to that a little bit. You took that assessment before you start training, and it's so interesting. We'll talk over bowling if you really want to get started on, because that's where the best dialogue comes from. I know we had that conversation with Mason over wings once when he was a newer rep, so I'd love to continue that conversation. So I want you to, I went over this at the beginning, and what I'm most excited about, what I'm excited about, and what I appreciate is I spent Friday. So I got home from training, and Friday I was like, I have all weekend to kind of prepare for this meeting. And I couldn't wait. I was like, I got done with training, I got home, and I was like, I don't want to wait to start planning the rest of this meeting for you. Like, I want to do it now. So I listened to last week's meeting that I recorded, I'm recording this. I listened to that on repeat about 7 or 8 times this weekend. And I couldn't stop listening to it to remind myself of what we did as a crew to create $180,000 from my alliance. And it just got me, every time I listened to it, reinvigorated me, reminded me, reinvigorated me, and reminded me of like where my head was at a year ago. And what was going through my mind and the standards that I created for my organization a year ago and for my people. And I'll tell you, it just got me so pumped to like create that again and to replicate it. Because 2 years ago, we were number 12 for this push contest. Last year we were top 5. And to do 240,000, like I know it's just a number, but you don't understand the competition that's here. Like you're talking the organizations that we're committed, the cities, the size of these teams. We were never the juggernaut. And last year we surprised the freaking Cutco world. And now it's like, it's expected. After 1 year, it's just like all of a sudden it's expected. Like the Washington Capitals win the Stanley Cup, and now it's like expected that they're just going to be great from now on. Side note, they hired Tony Robbins 2 years ago to coach them to win that Stanley Cup, just so you guys know. Thought that was really interesting. And they dreamt it and planned for 2 years ago for them to win their first national title. And I just think about that preparation that went behind last year wasn't about last year. Just like the preparation behind this meeting isn't about this meeting. For us to sell $300,000, that was our goal last year. Like, that's a scary-ass number. 300? You know how many knives that is? There's a lot of knives. Like, that is a large number. It's not just the number, though. For us to dream big of $300,000, like, I really had to wrap my mind around it. So I had to go back to, like, last year and think about it. And the analogy I shared with my team last year, I was talking about this little guy. What's his name? He invented Tesla.
Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And did you guys know that little man called Elon Musk, when he started PayPal, they considered it the top 10 largest failures of a company in the 90s. Did you know this? Did you know this? This little guy, Elon Musk. No big deal. Just a name, right? Guy's net worth now. Ready? Some like 15 billion. What is it? Elon Musk, $16.7 billion net worth. And in 1999, he had PayPal he was kicked out of PayPal because they rated it the worst business idea in 1999. Imagine this. And he started this little company with Tesla. I think about the chances in life for us to do something great. The chance of us for standing for something that we believe is important. This push isn't about selling the knives. I guarantee every one of you, without the support from me, can still go sell knives and make money. It's about becoming the best version of you. That's what it's about. It's about thinking and acting like a freaking champion. That's what it's about. And that's why, going with what Riley said, taking a Sunday night out of your life, it's to make sure that you are ready to commit to becoming the best version of you. That's what we're here to do. And we will sell a lot of knives, don't worry. I know you're worried about it. We'll sell a ton of knives. So I have this hand on. This is going to be the foundation of what we're going to go over today, is to think like a push champion and set the expectations of what the heck that means. So I'll take any extras if there are any extras. I really want you to think about what's possible. Now, the guy who created this, his name is Ray Reed. Some of you guys may have met Ray at the conference we were just at. Ray created this push like a champion concept before he had his first 20K push. Since creating this, Ray had a 20K push, a 30K push, and a 40K push, and he did 20K several times over after creating this document. So Ray is now at over $1.5 million in Cutco sales, but when he created this years and years and years ago on how to think, he called it the new G. That's it, this is like his new way of thinking. And when he created this document, it up-leveled his entire success with the company, and that's when he won that Silver Cup. So that was back in 2008. He started selling Cutco in 2003. So he started selling coke in 2003, was okay, but up-leveled in 2008 when he created this, and that's when he started seeing massive success, and that's when he was the #1 rep in the country. So I modeled last year's alliance for the first time, and now this year, round 2, off of the way he was thinking to up-level his success. So we're going to go through these. So I'll have one of you read the left side, and then I'll read the right side. So we'll go Caroline. What's the left side say?
When I have worry.
And what's the question? It says, would a top push performer worry about this? So would a top push performer worry about this? I want you to think about that for just a moment. During this push, what you're worried about, what you're focused on, what your fears are, right? There's only really a couple things that you should be focusing on. And I want you can take notes on the back of this and the side of this, is this in my control? That's the question you need to constantly ask yourself. Is this in my control? That's the only question you really want to worry about. If it is not, what do you do? What's the answer? Don't worry. And what's the word that you want to do? You shouldn't worry at all, but what do you want to do? If it's not in your control, what do you want to do? It's a word that starts with an A. Accept it. Accept it. The sooner you can accept it, the sooner you can move forward. The sooner you can accept it, the sooner you can move forward. It's not in your control. It's not in control right now. It sucks. Like Nicole's sick as a dog, 102 fever. She'd love to be here right now. But the fact is, we don't want to compromise all of your health for one person. But what can we do? It's not in our control. She's sick. But what we can do is how we respond. That's the only thing. What is in my control? How do I respond? So what is she doing? She's all day been listening to our YouTube channel, kind of like when Josh was out of town. Listening to our YouTube channel and feeding her mind certain skill sets and mindset talks that is in her control. So is it in my control? No, accept it as fast as freaking possible. Is it in your control? Yes, do something about it and stop thinking. I had 1 or 2 people say, Mike, I just, people aren't answering their phone. Is that in your control? No! Stop worrying about it. Just what could you do? What can you control? In that moment, what could you do?
The next person.
Make more calls. Mike, I already called 52 people. Great. What did the 53rd person say? What? You call them. Let's find out. Right? Like, that's the way we got to think. Stop worrying so much. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. The next, my language. So, Grant. So go in and read that one since I already read my language.
Will this matter 5 years from now? Are the words that I'm using creating the positive or avoiding the negative?
So here are words that are trigger words that you want to avoid. What are the words that you want to avoid? Need. You want to avoid that word need, because what does that mean? That means you're coming from a position of scarcity. Need. Have to. You want to avoid words like have to, need to, no one, and everyone. Need to, have to, no one, everyone. Those are emotional words. Avoid them. Get them out of your vocabulary. Anytime someone says, I just need to make phone calls. No. What's a better way of saying I need to make phone calls? I need to hit my sales goal. What's a better way of saying that? I need to make more calls. What's a better way of saying that? I want to make phone calls. That's a better way of saying that. I agree. And you could even fill it in with a because to make it more real. I want to make phone calls because you fill in the blank. Without a doubt. I get to. How about that one? I get to make phone calls. How cool is that? That's an empowering phrase. I get to make phone calls right now. Why? Because I live in America where I have the privilege and the opportunity to run and operate my own business. The land of the free. Land of opportunity. That's exciting. I get to run my own enterprise. And you can empower yourself with the language of choice, the language patterns that you choose to do. This push is important. It's a mental push. It is all about the mentality game. So the language is one of those parts. Are the words you're using, are they creating positive or negative feelings? Very important to keep that in mind. The next one, my appearance. So RJ, go and take that one.
Are they deliberate and intentional? Or do I look like someone who has maximum self-respect?
So this is going to come around for the mornings, right? We're here what time every morning?
7:30.
So 7:30, okay? So we are here at 7:30 in the mornings, okay? But here's what I'll tell you. We start at 7:30 in the mornings, right? So we start at 7:30 in the morning. I'm not telling you need to be here earlier, but I am saying I will be. I will be.
If you're there at 7:31.
Minus.
-1!
-1. RJ knows. -1. Don't show up 7:31.
Do you want
Here's,
-1?
here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you.
What's mine?
Oh, we'll talk about it. We're gonna go there. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get there.
I'm not worried.
Okay. You're not. I'm not.
You're not gonna get -1.
Not really worried.
Nice. This is synergy. This has already started. So this is good. Here's what I'll tell you. How you show up to those morning meetings. I'll tell you right now, Stephen DeFala, now there's other examples right here, but Stephen was probably, from my memory, one of the most impressive because he would show up, not just show up earlier on time, but he showed up in a shirt and tie most of the days. Like in a ready-to-work attire. Or in a polo. Maybe a polo, not shirt and tie. But I just remember every time he showed up, I was like, this kid looks like he's ready to work. Don't show up with bedhead. Don't show up like in gym shorts, right? I'm okay with that. I will sometimes if I know I'm going straight to the gym. But I promise you, I'm not rolling out of bed in my gym shorts to roll my ass out here to the office unless I may have missed my alarm by accident. But it's not an intentional thing. Intentional, we got to start with our morning routines. We got to start with our evening routines. It is very, very important. It is critical to take care of yourself. So one of the things that, as far as appearance, I'm not just talking about your attire. I think you should dress nice. Dress like you're ready to go to your next activity. Now for Josh, he's like, why would I dress up? My next activity is baseball practice, right? I get that. So dress, that's fine. But I think it's important to dress for your next activity. Be ready in the right appearance. So here's what I would say. Let's make a list of different evening rituals and morning rituals that you can do to kind of set yourself up with your appearance. And I know with your appearance, we're talking about your appearance, but I may be jumping ahead or jumping around, but I want to hit this home. So let me give you all 30 seconds to kind of make a list, and then we'll come around to a couple of you that have some thoughts. How can you essentially show up ready? Maybe 15 seconds. All right. So we'll go around. We got RJ and Hannah. What are the things that come to your mind?
Basically, lay out your clothes for the next day of the day, the night before, just so you can get a jump start.
Pick your outfit out. Love it.
That was mine.
Same thing. Pick the outfit out. RJ, again.
Go to sleep early if you have nothing to do. Like, don't just spend an hour and a half on your phone before bed.
Critical. Ready? Whatever you do before bed is going to play in your subconscious mind 6 times over while you're sleeping. The last thing you look at. So if you look at your social media right before bed, the last thing that's going through your mind is typically insignificant. I mean, it's typically like I'm not enough, or I'm chasing something, or FOMO, or what. It's nothing that serves you. Essentially, is what happens. That's why you never want to watch the news before you go to bed, because all they do is they instill fear. The news instills fear. It's like craziness. Now I'm not gonna go on too like political, philosophical on you, but like it's the same thing all the time. It's never really good serving content. And if that's what's going to play over, you're going to bed and your unconscious mind is going to wake up fearful. So you want to feed your mind something before you go to bed that is going to serve you when you wake up. That's why you want to fall asleep to something that is going to help. And you want to wake up to something that's going to help. But why can you wake up Christmas morning, no problem, and the gifts are under the tree when you're a kid, but yet you can't wake up for school? How can you wake up for, if you have an airline flight, you have to take a plane to a vacation, but you have trouble waking up for maybe not the SAT, but you get the point, right? Like, why? Because whatever you thought about before you went to bed, you were either really excited or you were really like, I'm dreading it. It's either dread or excitement, and you got to feed that emotion before you go to bed. I agree, 100%. What am I doing before I go to sleep? I highly encourage you to avoid the scrolling. The scrolling, I catch myself doing it too. And when I catch myself doing the scrolling, I put my phone, I put it upside down, I put it on the charger, and I put it on the other side of the room, and I have a book that's sitting right next to my bed called The Road to Character. That's my evening book, and I'll read at least I'll fall asleep to reading that book, because that way it feeds my mind of something that's significant that's going to help serve me for me to wake up to. You guys see this? I'm not saying change 18 years of your habits. I'm saying if you can make a little bit of a progress, a little bit of an adjustment, it could help you during this push. This push is about mindset. It's about energy and mindset. If you could own that, those are some easy ways to do it. What other ideas do we have? To go to sleep or wake up to help you with your appearance. Riley, what do you think?
I said you should wake up earlier than you should. Like, if you feel like you can get ready in half an hour, then wake up 45 minutes.
You said it. You said it. Ready? Let me help you on a little tip. Ready? When you hit the snooze alarm, I'll tell you right now. This is like Michael Rollins years and years ago. You hit the snooze. Like, I would set 5 alarms, and then like on the 5th one, it's like, all right, that's 5. I got to get up now. Here's what you don't understand: is on your unconscious mind. When you hit snooze, you are procrastinating. That is the first thing that's going through your mind is procrastination. You are starting the foundation of your day is putting off what you set out to originally do. So if you procrastinate 5 times before you even get out of bed, that's the foundation that you're building your day off of. And you have already wired your way of thinking for the day to procrastinate, to put things off. So here's what I'll tell you. How long did we hit the snooze for? If you hit the snooze, let's say it's 10 minutes. It's 2-minute snoozes, right? For 10 minutes. And you still wake up tired. Versus, if you got out of bed, ready? I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm saying, what if you did? Alarm goes off, it's on the other side of the room, it's like, oh my God, I fucking hate my life. Sorry, person. You hit the snooze and you're up, right? And you walk like a freaking zombie into the kitchen and you chug a giant glass of water that was already there from the night before. You put it in the fridge and you chug a glass of water. You walk outside to get fresh air and you breathe and bring oxygen to your body. Ready? What brings energy? It's actually not food, because if you think about it, you ever overeat, you eat like a ton of food and then you're like tired because you just ate so much? And it's a lot of times it's not sleep, because as we just put the point where you wake up and you're still tired. You ever have that? You take a nap and then you wake up, you're like, I'm still tired. It's like a never-ending prophecy of tiredness. It's like, so what really produces energy? It's your cells in your body. And you break up the cells in your body, that's how you produce energy. So when you eat a lot, they get clumped together. And when you stay still, sleeping, a lot of times you don't break up the cells, so a lot of times they're still close together. So what breaks up the cells in your body is oxygen. This is essentially what you want to do. You got to break up the cells, bring oxygen to the body, and free the cells so that way they flow freely. In so many layman's terms, without getting so scientific on my doctor, med school majors in the room, okay?
You need to break down the glucose.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you have these cells in the body, you break them up, and you got to let them free flow throughout your body to bring energy to the body. Layman's of how this works, okay? So how does that work? Well, H2O, water has oxygen, and when you breathe air, it brings oxygen to your body. So I'm not telling you to do this, but this is what I would propose. You wake up, you stand up, you drink water, and you take, like what I take intense, very intense, deep breaths. And I hold them. Very much like an intense. And then I hold it and let my body absorb the oxygen intake. And it sounds super weird. It sounds crazy. It sounds nuts. But how the hell can I allow myself to go and be present and focused and have energy and be energy rich 14, 15 hours out of a day without any need for naps? Without any need for that. How do you see businesses and executives, no caffeine, zero extra like stuff that's needed, none of that. No 5-hour energies, none of that crap. All natural. I'm not telling you to be me, but I'm telling you, where did I learn this from? The experts in the industries. That's how they show up. So I think it's important. I call it a BMW. It's a breathe, meditate, walk. That's what I do to start my mornings. Because after you bring the oxygen to the body, you move. Create movement, which is walking for me. I just walk. Really what's fantastic that I think I'm going to get for the office is an equalizer, one of those little trampolines, like a rebounder. that's fantastic because that moves the lymphatic system up and down, so that way you can get the lymph nodes, which move those cells as well. What I've been doing is the cold showers or the cold plunges. I jump in the pool to regulate the body temperature, get it back to equilibrium or homeostasis. When you cool the body and then let it get back, that also increases the lymphatic system. All of this stuff is designed to get energy and also win the day before your day starts. That takes 10 minutes, guys. So 10 minutes of hitting snooze or 10 minutes of bringing energy to your body, you got to think about it, right? And those little decisions are what this push is about. So what is my appearance like? It's going to come from some of those small decisions, how you go to bed and how you wake up. That's a long-winded way of saying, I'm not going to be there. It's the wins that you have when no one's around. That's what the push is about. Because it's going to be clear as day. Day 10, when you roll in here looking like a zombie, it will be clear as day if you forgot the think like a champion's concept that we're talking about before day 1. Cool? Another thought on appearance?
Something that I do, you can call it weird if you want, but, so, like, to even win the day before you even, like, get out of bed, I try to, if I know I have to get up, like, at 7 in the morning, I'll try to go to sleep so early that I beat my alarm, and then I can get out of bed before my alarm even goes off, and then I have the power to say I beat you, and I just turn off my alarms, and I go get ready.
I put on turn up like really loud fun music for my alarm, so I start dancing.
Love these. Ready? So these are good ideas. So I love resetting your alarm to a favorite song or a pump-up song. My alarm is a song that I was listening to at the top of the mountain in Switzerland. So when that alarm goes off, it brings me to that emotional state, which is a peak state for me. So a pump-up song, if you will, right? So that's a great choice instead of that crazy, it's like, I hate you, right? Like a pump-up song is a really good idea to get you up out of bed. Any other ones that, as far as your morning routine or appearance, that can help?
There's some research that shows that instead of just like rolling over and getting out of bed, if you like physically jump out of bed, like right when the alarm rings, like actually jumping out of your bed, smiling and like walking out of your room, like it's like the rest of your day is more positive. Yeah.
It's true.
It's just that
there's tons of research about this.
It doesn't give you the chance to say no to the alarm. Like,
and we're not telling you to change 18 years of habits, but what I would like to try to do is move them if we can. Just move them if we can. If we can. So this is, again, thinking like a champion. All right, so let's continue. When I lose my temper. Sierra?
Would a top performer get mad at what I'm getting mad at?
People will challenge you. I promise you. Mom, dad, significant other, Tommy, someone's going to challenge you. I'll tell you right now, last push, I just want to kick out. Stop barking at people! There will be a point in time where you just are so fatigued and you're like, any little thing can set you off. That might happen. You just had 2 cancellations, right? You're like you just made 50 phone calls, your big order just canceled, right? And then that dog is barking at you. Or then your dad is like yelling at you. And then that person cuts you off in traffic. And then that one thing happens and you're like, I'm about to lose my shit. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
I'm already mad.
But here's the thing. You want to think like a champion. You want to think like a push champion. How do you make sure you answer that question? Would a top performer get mad at this? So here's what I want to ask you to think about. I want to invite you to write down a name. Write down a name of someone you would consider as a top performer in life. A top performer in your life. A mentor, a celebrity figure. For me, of course, I talk about Tony Robbins a lot. Growing up, I was a huge Michael Jordan fan, so see how he operated on the court. I always just think about when he dropped 40 with the flu. Like I was like, oh my God, this guy's so impressive. When his dad got murdered, and then he still fulfilled his dreams of playing baseball, and then come back to the NBA, and then winning 3 more championships. I'm like, this guy's ridiculous, right? Like all of that. How would a top performer how do they show up? Think about one person. Maybe that's mom. Maybe there's a single mom that like an independent, strong-ass woman who just gets stuff done. Maybe it's a 3-job type of thing, taking care of the family, feeding the kids, and still handling her business, or dad for that matter. Maybe it's some big shot executive that you had a chance to meet, right? Think about those people. Maybe it's an a celebrity MLB player or celebrity type of figure that you're like, dang, the way they show up, the way they interact, and the way they treat themselves and those people around them. Who that person is for you. And here's what I want you to think about, is what are the characteristics about those individuals that you, like, that you look up to, you respect? Make a list of those characteristics. Make a list of those characteristics. Are they patient? Are they kind? Are they focused? Are they driven? Are they respectful? Are they team-oriented? Are they driven? Are they compelled? You know, whatever it might be. I'll give you another 15 seconds. You can write down some words that. So what happens is we're not trying to be that person. Like, I'm not trying to be Tony Robbins. I just want to embody some of the characteristics that he has. Some of the principles that he has, because they work. You know, I mean, the guy runs. I have enough trouble running 2 businesses and a nonprofit. I mean, this guy runs and oversees the operations of, I think he's up to 17 businesses. It's like crazy.
Isn't that worth like 500 million or something?
500 million. 500 million. It's like bananas.
It's a lot of bones.
It's a lot. He owns an island. His own island. Yeah, off of Fiji. It's like, he owns his own private airplane. I mean, like the possessions and stuff. I mean, it's like unreal. Unreal. That's not the stuff that motivates me though. The stuff that motivates me is that, like the morning routine stuff, the discipline that he has to jump in 54-degree water every single morning, to do his workout every single morning, right? I mean, those are the little things. How he's able to like manage it all, but still have a personal life. It's amazing. It's amazing that he's at 500 million and doesn't need to work a day for the rest of his life, and his kids don't need to work a day for the rest of their life, but yet he still shows up and works his ass off. Like, that's awesome to me. So if you have those characteristics, when you lose your temper, here's the question you need to answer. How quick can I respond? How quick can I respond? That's essentially what we're talking about. How quick can I respond? When Tommy pisses me off, how fast can I respond to not like, to be aware, okay, the person just cut me off, almost crashed in my car. By the way, it just happened yesterday, ready? Just happened yesterday. I went to Rainbow River for the day with a couple of my friends, with Matt and Jamie King. We were talking about you for a little bit, actually. Jamie was like, I'm so impressed by that kid. He's doing so well, so it's really cool. We went down to the river, and I pulled up to get to my car after we went down the river, and someone sideswiped. You'll see on my car, someone sideswiped or backed into the Beamer. Yeah, my driver's like, no note. There's no note. There's no nothing. And so it took 30 seconds. 30 seconds, that was about it. I lost the shit for 30 seconds. It's like, no effing note? Like, what? Like, you know, one of those? That was it? I didn't say effing. I was like,
No darn no.
what am I gonna do? And then who I was with is a friend of a friend. He was like, that sucks. Like, he was more mad than me. It's like, we gotta find out. Is there surveillance around here? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, that sucks. Like, I'm like, it was in the whiz. There's no freaking surveillance. What are we gonna do? That's it. Got in the car, moved forward, had a great rest of the day. That's it. How fast can you respond and react when the stuff happens? That's the question. To get composure and still have a great day. What's I gonna do? Let it mess up the rest of the day with my wife and my friends that I can't do anything about. That's what the push is about. Maturity is very, very important. Think like a champion. So when you lose your temper, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Next one, what I read, Bella.
Is what I'm reading getting me closer to my push goal?
Good. Here's what I would encourage you to do. Have books, not like Harry Potter books, like self-help books, strategically placed in places that you will typically be lazy. So I have one next to the remote control in my TV room. I have one next to my bed. I have one in my office, in my home office. I have a lot of reading material in the bathroom. Obviously, I put that in here too. And it sounds like Lindsay thinks it's disgusting. And I say, it's disgusting if I'm going to be in the bathroom for a few minutes and I do nothing but sit there. Like, that's disgusting. Like, I should be feeding my mind for, like, while I'm doing nothing. Like there should be something feeding my mind during that time frame. If I'm driving in my car, I have a CD in my audio player, my CD of Tony Robbins, and then I found all these Spotify channels that I'm really excited about that I shared with a lot of you already. So feeding your mind during that time, but books or audiobooks are fantastic ways to feed your mind. So what are you reading? I'm not saying don't watch Netflix, and I'm not saying don't watch your favorite TV shows, but I'm saying, ready? Here's what I'm saying. Read before you do those things. So that way when you do those activities, it's not guilty pleasures. It's like, all right, I already fed my mind, and now I'm going to do mindless stuff. And it's like those little wins. That's all it's about. It's the little wins that you feel good about. I'm not saying do this, but I'm saying the little wins. Here's why. You might say, Mike, why is that important? Because here's what's going to happen. Ready? During the push, if you don't train your mind to win those little temptations, those bigger temptations will settle in. The big temptation, ready for a big temptation? It's 4 o'clock and you have an appointment canceled. Ready? And your best friend just broke up with her boyfriend. And she's like, I need you. It's like her emergency is now your emergency, right? Right? And it's 4 o'clock, and you were supposed to do a demo. You were supposed to grind until 6, but it's 4 o'clock and you had a cancellation. The temptation sells in. It's like, I'm already done for the day because I had a cancellation. Let's go binge eat. Let's go watch some Netflix. Let's go eat some ice cream and bonbons, and let's cry and let's talk about and sulk, and then let's go party out tonight and put on our heels and our dresses and stuff, and let's go out there and have fun and let's just dance.
I just want to dance with my girls tonight.
No. Obviously, I'm playing this out, but I need you to understand what I'm saying is if you win those little temptations where you say something along the lines of, hey, listen, friend, I got you. I have to grind. I have to make sure that I hit my goals. I'm done with work at 6. After 6, when I do what I need to get done, I'm all yours for the rest of the night, but I got to hit my goals because they're meaningful to you. That's it. I'm not saying neglect a friend, but I'm saying don't settle into that temptation 2 hours before due to the circumstantial temptation. It's going to happen. I promise you it's going to happen during this push. Girlfriend, boyfriends, I promise you mom's going to throw a family dinner on at you at 6:30 or 6 o'clock or 5:30 last minute. And you're going to be 2 away from your goal for the next 2 days. I promise you. And you're going to have to look at mom and be like, listen, mom, you could either help me with those 2 extra appointments or I got to show up to dinner late because I got to hit my goal. Because you have been training your mind to win and not settling for the temptation. That's what this push is about. The push is not about how much you're going to sell. The push is about winning the mental game, winning the temptations. You do those things, you're going to sell a lot of freaking knives, I promise you. It's the mental battle. So what do I read? What I read stuff before you do those guilty pleasures is what I would suggest. A couple paragraphs, page or 2. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. All right, let's we'll do one more and then we'll debrief. Conversation. So Josh, conversation.
Is this something that top push performer would be discussing during push?
I'll tell you right now, push hours are 10 to 6. We have a morning session in the morning, then 10 to 6 is push hours. So you have to think about what are the conversations during push hours? What are the conversations? I'll tell you right now, my dad, I don't talk to him during push hours. I have no problem saying that. My dad is not the person that I go to for encouragement or compassion. Like, I have certain people in my life, and he's not one of them for what I need. That's not a shot at him. If you know my dad's history, shoot. The guy, ready? When he was 4 years old, ready? His dad was at the casino. There was no heat, no hot water. It was one of the coldest days of the year. His dad was gambling. His dad actually died in a casino. He was an alcoholic gambler. His mom left the house with the 4 kids in the house with no hot water and no heat, no nothing. Left them at the house, and his sister thought my dad was dead. So my aunt thought he was dead at 4 years old because he was so still and frozen solid. So she laid all the coats on him, laid on top of the coats to warm him up. The toilets were frozen, and this is how he grew up, with the cockroaches and the bed bugs and having nothing. So he worked his ass off his whole life, so that way I didn't have that. You know, we had a great life. I had an awesome upbringing, but that's how he was raised. So he's not the poster child of being loved his whole life, so he doesn't know how to give love because he never received it. Everyone see? So if I need grit, if I need ambition, I go to my dad for that. But if I need encouragement or compassion, I'm not going to go to that guy for that. You feel me? I'm not going to, he's the guy that's going to say things like, oh man, you're working so hard, man. I work so hard so you don't need to work hard, right? I don't need to hear that shit when I'm working hard. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have your go-to conversation. If you're in the middle of a phone jam and some new rep or somebody's asking you a question, you give them the finger. This one. You say, listen, I'm making calls right now. If I'm talking to you, I can't push. Are those the conversations you're having? Because you're not saying no to that person, you're saying yes to your goals. That's going to be tough for the coaches. Listen, Johnny Rep, I'm jamming. Hey, listen, I can't talk right now. I'm pushing. I can't walk in this room, in and out of this room. You see you. You don't need me to call you out. I loved walking in this room and hearing Grant on the phone, I'll tell you right now. I love that. I love walking next door and seeing Sierra at the desk, not looking at anyone and saying, let me just get my work done. And there's other examples, of course. But I love that. I love that. Working hours, conversations, serving each other, lifting each other up. So here's the question. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Here's what I would say. There's only 3 types of people you want to be talking to this push. Number 1 is me. Number 2 is each other. And number 3 is the bonus one. You want to add someone to your circle of influence that is simply a cheerleader. That is outside the business. A cheerleader. What does a cheerleader do? Does a cheerleader give you tips? No. What does a cheerleader do for the football team, for the basketball team? They're hyping you up. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Will! Right? That's all you need. Right? Like, a cheerleader. That cheerleader's job for your push is simply to say these words. I believe in you. You're doing great. What your cheerleader doesn't do, you're working so hard, Will. You hurt your finger. You should just sit on the bench and calm down. That's not the cheerleader's job. You follow me? So I want all of you guys right now, I want you to brainstorm 1 or 2, maybe 3 cheerleaders. If your dad is like mine, he's not your cheerleader. In fact, don't talk to him during push hours, right? While you're grinding, don't even, like, you can let him know straight up. I let my dad know, it's like, listen, Dad, there's certain things in my life that you're going to help me with, and this is one of them. Right? Because you're either helping or hurting. And what happens is if they're hurting, you need to have enough resources around you to let it bounce off, to repel the negativity. Because the negativity, you can't avoid it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Always. It's not going anywhere. But you have that cheerleader. Me, biggest cheerleader. But I'm your coach. I'm not your cheerleader. I'm going to drive this. You will hate me at some points in time. It's going to happen. You're going to hate me when I have the conversation with you. Like, Mike, but, Mike, you don't understand. There's only one day this year I get to go to the Busch Gardens with this friend. And they're leaving for summer, and I'm leaving for fall, and I'll never see them again. Like, do we have that agreement in the schedule? Is your goal hit? Well, then go get that hit. Hey, here's which day were you going to do 3? That day? And which day were you going to do 2? That day? And which day were you going to do 5? That day? Okay. Well, what day do you want to go to Busch Gardens? All right. Come to my morning alliance meeting and then go party like a rock star, but move those appointments to this day, and that day. If you can make that agreement, I'll get off your case. Are you willing to be flexible? And I'll be willing to be flexible. Are you willing to compromise that family dinner that was supposed to be Friday night so you could go to Busch Gardens on Thursday with that friend and book up an extra few appointments on Friday night? You follow? I'm all about that. I'm okay. I'm open. But you're going to hate me? But I promise you, when you're on stage in front of 1,000 people and you look at your commission statement, you're like, holy shit, $2,600 check? What the hell? And you look at your withholdings and it's like another $1,200 in withholdings. You're like, this is amazing. Like, I don't even know how to spell this. Nevertheless, see this in my bank account. I want that for you. All right, let's keep going. Let's come up for some air real quick. We're about halfway through this list. Remember, this is the bulk of what we need to get done. Expectations and communication are critical. Let's talk. So go through everything we just talked about. Let me get a couple of debriefs, a couple of light bulbs, a couple of things that landed with you. You're like, dang, Mike, I haven't thought about it that way, or thanks for bringing that to my attention, or that was a big light bulb for me, or something along those lines. So we'll go Caroline, and then Grant, and then Riley, and then RJ, and then Hannah. We'll start with those.
Okay, so what I really got from this is like your language and conversation, because like what you say and how you talk yourself up and talk to other people, and like just like who you surround yourself with, like what comes out of your mouth comes out of your heart. So like if you're talking down, you're like, oh, I have to do this, you know, you're just gonna make yourself feel like that, but you gotta hype yourself up and stuff like that, so then you'll feel that way.
Yeah, it's true. Language matters good. I get to do this. I'm excited for this. Right? Excellent. Well, whoever the order was, I might have forgot.
I think I had two little things. I think just that positive mindset is one of the bigger ones. But the biggest thing that just popped up there is circle of influence. Like this group here, and I think other people in my life, I need to pick and choose which ones I want to talk to during this next 3 weeks, and which ones don't need to be relevant in my life. And I think that's going to be a big change.
It's so tough.
Again. Yeah.
And it's tough because I love my friends. I love my dad. I love him. Are you kidding? It's my dad. It's my blood. But when it comes to my goals, you know, it's just like not forever, but you just gotta pick. You gotta choose. It's important. It's important to certain friends. I mean, I had to cut one friend off because all he wanted to do is eat sushi buffet. I'm like, dude, I gotta lose like 20 pounds, man. I can't eat sushi buffet with you all the time, right? Like, you know? Cool. Whoever was next, I don't remember. I think it was Riley, RJ, Hannah.
Probably the biggest thing was that you're not saying no to the person, you're saying yes to your goals. That's a big one, because I never really thought about how like turning down somebody is not out of like hate or out of like you don't like them. It's just because you have more important things on your mind. So
Yeah.
that's like a big thing.
And under this umbrella, ready, in case I don't say it later, what you look at before you go to bed and when you wake up also should be a vision board or your picture of your goals. Like that possession you want to buy, that college you want to go to, that whatever it is that you're working towards, the profession you want to be, you know, whatever it is that you're working towards, you want to remind yourself of that. You know, the feeling it's going to be when, ... I'll talk about that. I think that's one of these. Yeah, the next one. Cool. And then I think it was RJ and then Hannah, and then if anybody else wants to chime in.
Basically just feeding your mind all the time, because I feel like when it comes to like something like inspiration, it's sort of like limited. If you don't really take action on your inspiration, if you're just consistently feeding yourself inspiration and being the best you can be and whatever, it's just gonna help you out with your push and with your life. Sorry. So just feed your mind.
Yeah.
Read stuff.
Yep. Ready? You want to equip yourself when opportunity presents itself. So you want to be prepared when the opportunity arises. So many of us wait for the opportunity and they're like, I wasn't ready for it. So all of that preparation that RJ's talking about and feeding your mind is just for when the opportunity shows up. And this is a good example. One of you just had a conversation with me today. It's like, I had a big fish. It was a big ass fish. And I showed up there. I just wasn't prepared. I didn't execute a great appointment for her. And I missed out on a large sale and a lot of recommendations. That means all of the stuff before the appointment that we're talking about right now, if that's habitual, you would have been prepared. But you waited for the opportunity to get yourself there, too late. What Ali said, the fight's won before the crowd shows up and the lights come on. That's what this is right now. Cool? So, excellent. We'll go, who is that? Hannah?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was when you're talking about sleeping and like doing something productive before you go to bed, because I'm guilty of just like going like Instagram, Snapchat before I go to bed, and just like I wake up and I'm tired and I'm like, thinking about like last night and stuff. But if I'm like doing something productive, I'm like excited to wake up, and it just sets my day off in a more positive tone rather than a negative.
It's so true. It's so true. There's little disciplines. I agree. Anyone else want to share? One or two more? Josh, please.
Yeah, when you're talking about looking for a cheerleader, because I've always looked for people to like, keep me down to earth and like not let my head get too big. So I don't feel like I have that person that's always like hyping me up.
Yeah. And that's important. And the reason why it's important is because you're right. You're overachievers, and we're already tough on ourselves. But sometimes encouragement is very needed. It's very needed because you need that support. You need that encouragement. You need that I believe in you. It's important. Everyone at least think of somebody you can target. Here's the conversation with that person. If it's a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, even if it's someone you haven't talked to in a while, but like they're just one of the most positive people. That it's like, here's a conversation. So say if you're the friend, okay, Caroline. Hey Caroline, I have a random favor. Like, it's a really big favor. It sounds really weird, but I need a favor from you. And feel free to say no, but if you say yes, it would be really meaningful to me, and it can make a big difference in some of my goals. I mean, would you be open to like helping me with this? It sounds weird. I know it sounds serious, but because it is.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
So I'm in a big contest. I have this big goal I'm working towards, and I have people in my life that are gonna like really drive me and support me and coach me and there's going to be people that distract me, and at some points it's going to be tough, like it's going to be challenging, and I need one person in my life that can be my person that can cheer me on, that all I want this person to say is I believe in you, I support you, I'm encouraging you, and I think that you have those qualities to be that person for me. And I was hoping that if I get into a rut, or if I get into a valley, or if I get stuck, I'd be able to call you and you'd be able to give me some of those words of encouragement. And it sounds really cliche, it sounds really like weird that I'm asking that favor from you, but it would mean the world to me if you did.
Of course, I've got you, Mike.
Now, it is vulnerable to say that to somebody, but that's thinking like a champion. That's preparing. That's thinking ahead of time. So I think it's great. So if you find somebody, and maybe it's someone in this room, but ideally it's someone not. Ideally it's someone that's not pushing. So that way they have the energy to support you. Because anyone in this room, their energy is going to be so much. Because they might happen to be at a bad day and the same time that you need them to support you, right? So I think outside the push could be a good idea. Or another office, something like that. Excellent. So let's continue. We're about halfway through these. So when I wake up, so we kind of talked about this, but when I wake up, Riley, what's that one?
Do I have a clear vision for my ideal day? Am I excited for the possibilities?
Good. Here's what I would say. When I wake up, start with gratitude. So gratitude. Start with gratitude. I love the question of what am I grateful for right now, right? And we'll do that, by the way. If you notice, I start every meeting, what do you appreciate? I like to start my day with gratitude. What's good is thinking about it. What's better is writing it down. So, morning routine. You're hungry. Oh my God, this sucks. Drink water. Go outside, breathe. And then do some sort of emphasizing jumping rope without a jump rope, walking, doing a jog, doing something, jump on the trampoline, something along those lines to get your mind. And what is my mind thinking about the entire time? All the things I'm grateful for. The people, places, possessions, activities, all of that. I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm saying those are patterns that can kind of frame your mind. So have a regimen to start your day. We talked about the personal goals page. Does anybody have a personal goals page done? Like it's finished and it looks good? Does anybody have one?
Well, you mean like in the blue book?
Yeah, for your blue book, a personal
I
goals
don't
page.
have pictures in it.
No pictures yet? Does anybody have one that's pictured and pretty?
I have, it's on my laptop. Can I pull it out?
Sure. I think this is important. Does anybody have a picture of a vision board that you look at in your home? Anyone have a vision board in their home?
I write my stuff on the mirror.
The mirror? I think I'd love to take if you took a picture of that and check so we can see. That'd be great. This is a concept that I learned. I shared it with you guys at the vision meeting. For those of you guys who are there, I highly recommend you. You don't have to make a vision board, but the goal sheet that you put in your blue book when you like finalize the goals and what you're excited about, you print that out. Put one in your car, like that so it's printed out and put it like on the radio. Put one near your bed. Put one in your bathroom, right? Take a picture of it, make it the screen of your phone. Like if you look at the back of my phone says my 6 core values. That's like my vision board right now for this year is honoring and owning my core values, my principles. And the number 1 is abundant life. So every time I'm looking at that, like that's what I'm training myself for. 3 years ago it was patience. Like I was very impatient. Like I wanted things now, And so I had to train myself on becoming more patient. Now it's like being more abundant, where I can find joy, happiness, and fulfillment no matter what's happening in my life. So that's like my number one. The other one is influence. The other one is openness. So these are important words to me. So that's what I'm constantly reminded of. That's what's in my room, in my office, and that's what's on my phone. So I encourage you to find something that you're consistently working towards. You could be excited about. Do you have?
Yeah.
So can I use this?
Yeah.
So
It's just the first page.
So if you see like the goals, so it says like why I'm here, shoot and trap Florida State, and then there's probably something underneath there, and then All-American recipient, and then it says education goals, personal goals, and beyond Cutco. I like this. This is a great little template for something that you guys can create, and then when this is all filled out, you would want to print it out and look at it consistently, your personal, professional, financial goals, whatever it is, your dream goals, your possessions, whatever you're working towards. So that way you know what you're saying yes to. Because it's easy to say, I'm saying yes to my goals. Like, well, what are the goals? I gotta sell a lot because my manager said I need to. I made an agreement with that man. And he's gonna be mad at me if I don't. And then I'm gonna feel like I let him down. And I'm gonna be a disappointment. That's a pretty shitty goal. Right? I know it sounds silly when I say it out loud, but realistically, there's one or two of you in this room that was like a goal. Like, I don't want to be a disappointment. That's my goal. Like, what? That's not a good goal. That's not a sustainable goal. That's not something that compels you or other people, right? So I think that's important. So before you go to sleep and when you wake up, I think those are important to think about. Print it out. Think about that. Breathe. We already talked about that. This is good. Ooh, I didn't say this one, but I think this is important. Hope. The word hope. When we talk about language, I hope they buy. I hope I have a good sale. That's another one of those words and language patterns that we're talking about here, versus increasing your closing with which is a focus on the product and the customer. So let me see if that's on here. I don't think that's on here. So let me say that right now. Cancel. Actually, no, that will come before a demo. Yeah, before a demo, I'll get to that one. So before I go to sleep, am I excited, invigorated? Phone jam. How would a top push performer thinking? So let me fly through a couple of these. So as far as a phone jam, let me pre-frame your mind for Sunday for just a moment. The most amount of phone calls you've ever made will be Sunday. And if it's not, then you need to level up. Like, what's a lot of phone calls for you?
For this, probably like
In one sitting, one sit. 300 is what? 300 is good. I like the way you're saying that. So I called on the right person. Thank you.
yeah.
One of my last pushes was 400 calls in a weekend. The Saturday to Sunday double barrel phone jam. 400. That's a lot of call tracking. No, it was even more painful than the 400 calls. Booking up 12 appointments on 400 calls. That's even more painful. And 3 which canceled. That's painful, right? But from those 9 that I completed, I sold $7,000. Worth it. Follow? So the phone jam is going to put you in the game. And we've got to be ready for that jam, mentally and emotionally. I had one of my Alliance members one time show up to the jam and he had his beanbag in. He brought his beanbag. He brought a little stand in. And he's sitting there like chilling, comfortable. Like that. How are you going to project energy if you're chilling in a beanbag chair? Impossible. So I said, get that shit out of my office. I said, you're standing. That's what I said. So you're standing for majority of the gym. You got to project energy. This isn't about comfort. So what I would suggest is if for that all day call day, I like those tables that raise up real high that we have. I would have those, and I would jam standing up if I'm in this room.
Standing saves your life. Sitting is suicide.
Right? So, and the reason why is so that way you're projecting. So when I'm making my calls, motion creates emotion. I'm not telling you, I love sitting there to make the calls. Call. 3, 4 rings, hang up, redial. Ring, boom. Hey, Miss Jones. Hey, Miss Jones, it's Mike Abramowitz. How are you? Like, motion creates emotion. Do you guys see? Just something to think about. In fact, I'm okay if you dress comfortable. I'm not saying don't dress comfortable, but you shouldn't be too comfortable to the point where you're not going to be able to project that confidence. Your job on Sunday is to challenge yourself. Push yourself. If you show up on Sunday with 100 calls or 100 phone numbers, you're not going to like me. I'm going to make you call that 100 calls. I'm going to make you call every single one of those names and numbers 2 or 3 times. You're not going to like me if you show up with 100. If you show up with 60, you're not going to like me even more. You're going to call those 60 people are going to be pissed off at you because you called all of them 5 times in one day. So that's why this week is really important. That's why on Tuesday, in a moment, I'll have you sign up for a time. We'll spend 15 minutes talking about your names and numbers and where you're at. Using my creating appointments document that I did on at the division meeting, we're going to see where you're at as far as your names and phone numbers and what you're doing to target your lists. Okay? So in a moment, we'll sign up for those. All right. So under that umbrella, that's Phone Gym. Before a demo, how much will my customers buy? What would top performers' intentions be? Ready? So if anyone ever says, I hope they buy, right? I hope this person's going to be a good prospect. They're going into it with the wrong mindset. You should be focused on 2 things and 2 things alone. When you go into a demo, 2 things are the focus. Number 1 is the product, and number 2 is the customer. That's it. The product and the customer. The product and the customer. So you've got to get out of your head. So who in here is closing percent? I asked you guys to come in with your closing percentage. How many sales out of the last 20 appointments? Who out of the last 20 appointments had more than 14 sales in the last 20? Raise your hand up high. More than 14 sales, raise that hand up high. 14 or more. 15 or more. 15 or more out of the last 20. 16 or more out of the last 20. So you had 15, 16 or more sales in the last 20 appointments. Cool, these 4 real quick. So let me hear from you guys in just a moment. Give us, everybody, your best practice, because I'm sure everybody wants that. If you had 16 sales on your last 20 appointments, which is an 80% closing or higher, we want to get your best practice. And here's what I'll tell you. Closing is an attitude. It is a conviction. It has nothing to do with a skill set. Closing is an attitude and a conviction. It is not a skill set. So let's go around real quick. So who were those hands? Was that Josh, Stephen, Riley, and Grant? Best practice for 80+% closing.
Just getting in the mindset before every appointment that your product conviction and how certain you are about the product itself, and also going on the appointment and actually selling to their needs and what they selling to the customer exactly, and also showing everything.
Show everything that the book offers. Sell Cutco for them. I like that. Stephen, what would you say?
Emphasize how much you use it at your home. Using your Cutco.
So use your Cutco and share.
Familiar with it, and be excited when you're closing with them.
Yeah.
It's pretend like you're gonna use their Cutco with them, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Increase in enthusiasm. Increase your conviction by using the product. Good. Riley, what would you say?
Definitely don't take no for an answer, because there's been times where I've gotten through the homemaker and then they say no, and I'm like, crap, I'm not gonna be able to get them in my gallery or studio. But I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and it might be uncomfortable to push somebody you know a lot, but once you push really hard, they'll break most of the time.
Wow.
The 3 no sales I had, 2 were because they had no money, and I knew that they had no money. And then 1 was just because they were just stubborn. And the rest, I would get there, they would say no, I'd say, oh, okay, and I just kept pushing studio, gallery, buy it, and they would buy it. Don't take no for an answer.
Wait,
It sounds rough.
It sounds hostile, but if you I know.
You didn't actually talk like that.
Yeah,
So here's
Mad?
I like average or rec,
so
or average and sponsor.
so here's what I would say. Saying what Riley's saying differently, maybe the same thing differently, is increasing enthusiasm for the next option. Increasing enthusiasm for the next option, because maybe that would be the best option for them.
Yep.
I think that's what he was saying.
Just get all
Is that just selling them off the previous set?
Yeah, sell them off that previous one and getting hyped about the next one. What would you say,
Can
Trey?
do you know Tristan Upton?
Sure.
Okay, Will hooked me up there because I was having trouble at the beginning of this. Like, I think it came off like 4 no sales in a row. Can I read something that he sent me real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright. So he said, one thing that I got really good at last summer was selling them on the idea of getting at least one knife.
By the way, just so you know, he had 95 sales or something like that in a row.
Yeah.
It was over 90 sales in a row last summer.
It was insane. He said, if you crush a junk knife page, you make a sale on every single demo. Build all the value in the world, features and benefits, and there's no need for the junk knife. If they have no need, if you don't explain the junk knife page right, it doesn't matter. But what he said, he uses the 2-pay option a lot with the trimmers and santokus and stuff. Once you get them from a no to a single knife, you can work them back up to a gift set that has 2 or 3 of their favorite tools. He says, I couldn't tell you how many cutting boards I sold last year. Not everybody is going to want to buy a knife, but all of these people who already have knives, they need a cutting board that isn't going to dull them more than they already have. He says the phrase that he liked to use when it appeared when the demo wasn't going the right way, stop the demo, put the blue book aside, and said something like, please don't confuse my enthusiasm for being rude or pushy. I just really think that everybody deserves a set of Cutco. I want to make sure that I find a set that works both for your kitchen and your budget. And that makes them feel more understood and more relaxed. When they're relaxed, it's easier to sell them on the idea of helping out versus just selling them on it. Everybody loves to buy things, nobody likes to be sold. Let them know that you're on their side, but don't take no for an answer. A small sale is better than no sale.
Is that a copy paste type
Yep.
of thing that you could put in the SC2 squad?
Yeah.
2 things that I got from that. Number 1 is that Grant was willing to ask for help, right? I think that's the number 1 thing. And he asked for help from the guy who's the best in business at closing percentage,
We'll hook it up with them.
right? So that's not average order. Cutting board is not an average order. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But closing percentage is all about helping them own something. There should never be a no sale. It's never a no sale. It's not I hope they buy. It's all about conviction. The insecurities that representatives bring into their appointments is what hurts their sales. The insecurities of being pushy, the insecurities of being pressure, the insecurities of what if I don't buy or what if I don't sell on this one? What is Mike going to think? Oh, another no sale. Like, that's the insecurities. That's what hurts your closing percentage versus selling because Cutco's awesome and because the product line sells. Cutco's awesome and people buy the knives and the customers deserve to have it. That's closing percentage. Average order is confidence in pricing. That's it. Confidence in pricing. Who has larger average orders? We have Mason. Anyone over 450. Mason at 490.
Mason has a 490 average order.
And then Josh Collette 536. And that's about it. Those are the only above 450 average orders that we have. Riley's 432. Caroline 421. Stephen 452. These are for the summer. So on the upper end of high, right? So if you have over a 450 average order, so maybe that's Stephen and Stephen and Josh, and in this room right here, maybe what comes to your mind for increase for larger average order best practice? That's closing percentage. Higher average order, in my opinion, it's confidence in the pricing, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But what do you think? We'll go Josh and then Steven.
I think confidence for sure. Just like, if you get through the whole demo, crush the junk knife page, crush the features and benefits and all that stuff, and then you get to the point where it's like, well, it's $12.73. I know that's a lot. Like, they're not gonna buy it at that point. Like, you gotta be like, it's only $12.73 for these knives that should be 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Just personally, when I do the pricing comparison, when I say that a lot of people say Cutco's 10 times better, I do the math on that. So I do 2,000. I do the knives are $20,000, and then I drop down from that. I want them to believe that those knives are $20,000, and then $12.73. That doesn't seem like anything once you say it's $20,000.
Mm-hmm. So just even levels up your customer's mindset of what is the value of what you're buying here. Steven, what would you say?
I agree with that. Confidence with the 1273. It's a lot. These are high quality knives. They're going to be a lot of money, but starting higher and dropping down it's agreeing and assuring them that it's not that much money.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get a lifetime. You use them for a lifetime. Just assuring them about it.
And I gotta let everyone know in this room, $1,000 is not a lot of money. It is not a lot of money. $200 a month on a 5-pay. $200 a month on a 5-pay for $1,000 order of Cutco. 200. I just spent $200 at Costco today. And about an eye. No big deal. No big deal. $200. That is nothing. I'm not a middle-aged mom. I don't have kids. And I just dropped $200 at Costco. Like, it is not a big deal. $200 a month on a 5-pay? That is a family of 4 at Cheesecake Factory. This is not a lot of money. $1,000 is not a lot. So your average order comes from your conviction in the pricing. That's it. Your closing percentage, conviction in that you're serving them and you love your product. Average order is all about pricing conviction. Everybody you show Cutco to could put $200 on their credit card. That's it. End of story. If you say my customers, I knew they were broke, I knew they had no money, either number one, you shouldn't have done a demo for them, or number two, you're full of it and they sold you versus you selling them. That's it. Why? $200 on a credit card. If their tire blew on the way to work tomorrow, how much is that? More than $200? What are they gonna do? They're gonna fix it. If they got a speeding ticket or a traffic violation, what are they gonna do? Pay it. $200. You follow me? They're gonna pay it. They're putting a credit card. That's it. No big deal. I need you to believe that it is not a lot of money if you want to increase your average order.
Yeah, I sold a studio set to people that had grass growing in their kitchen, so
Grass growing in the kitchen. It's impressive.
it was bad.
I'm trying to get grass growing in my freaking front yard, man. So much sand.
It wasn't really grass. I mean,
I got
people
you.
value different things different ways. I mean,
So I think that's important though, and that's when you're going into a demo, it's important to control that mindset. That $1,000 is not a lot of money. Genuinely believe it, not on an intellectual basis, but I truly understand that. And that Cutco is awesome. That people buy Cutco when you align with the person that you're doing an appointment with and the product line you're selling. Next one, when someone cancels or reschedules, how can I use this to get closer to my goal? What would a top performer do? Here's what I would say with the cancels. The agreements are really important. All those agreements that we put on that wall, that's what's important. Those agreements are critical, and we're gonna start wrapping up this, and then we're gonna transition just into those agreements, and that's gonna really be pretty quick. This is where we're gonna spend majority of our time to set the expectations of what my expectations are you to start thinking the right way. That's more important than anything. You got to follow through on the agreements when cancels happen. When I sell big, have I hit my goal yet? So that's why I don't care about your CPO goals. I care about your demo goals. A couple years ago, I had Patricia Valadares. She had a $3,600 sale, and she had that on day one of the push, and she had complacency just settle in. I'm already a third of the way to my goals, a 10K push goal. Oh, yeah. By like day 7, guess what happened? The order canceled. So with that excitement, because the excitement was really high, the fall to negativity was that much higher. You see? So when you go from the peak to the valley, it is a giant plunge. And I was a newer manager. I didn't do a good job at coaching her, bringing her back to level. So if you're at level and you have a valley,
Did you at least have a parachute?
Oh, she had no parachute. Oh, and then in that push, she also got into a car accident too. But the reason why she sold $85,000 and was an assistant manager and now works with Caldwell Banker in sales, and why she didn't just quit and leave, is because I coached her through the entire process. And she had an accountability buddy, which was Doug and Doris. That was her accountability buddies, also known as her circle of influence, to make sure they were there every step of the way. And she also hit the 10K goal. But I'll tell you, it was tough. It was tough. But it's very important to not get emotion attached to the CPO. You sell big, great. Did you do your 3 appointments for the day? No? Let's get on the phone, let's book up more. Do you have your appointment set for tomorrow? And the next day? Cool, let's get on the phone, let's book up more. And next one is when I have a no sale. What did I learn? Is a pushover. How will this help me? No sales are important. You should have more no sales during this push than you did in your entire summer so far, because you're doing more appointments. Michael Jordan led the NBA in most missed shots, but he also led the NBA in the same season, most points and most attempts. Just took the most shots. That's why he made the most points, and that's why he missed the most shots. You take the most shots, you'll miss and make the most. So don't focus on the no sales. In fact, you should focus on those sales. You should have, if you want to sell, 20 grand, you should probably have a lot of no sales. Count them up. If you're doing 50 appointments and 30 of them buy, you should have a checklist of 20 no sales then. If you really think about it in those terms. So don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in the no sales. Last one, when I feel doubt. What actions can take me out of doubt? And this is the last one. This is the last one. So doubt. So let's make a list and then we'll debrief and then we'll transition. What are some possible actions you can take if you start getting doubtful of whether or not you want to follow through, if you want to back down, if you want to die off? What are some possible actions that you can take if you feel doubt? Who do you go to? Who are your energy sources? What are your energy sources? Let's make a list. What could you do to remind yourself of that the vacation you want to send your parents on? Or go with your parent on, like I shared with you? What could you do when you feel doubt and you want to remind yourself of the Leadership Academy or the interview with Jeff or the $1,000 paycheck that you're excited about? When you have doubt, who are your energy sources? Where's your energy going to come from? When you feel doubt and you see the phone's ringing, and you see it's one of those naysayers, or one of those people that are not going to serve you, how are you going to rebound or repel whatever it is that's going to come out of the mouth during that phone conversation? Or do you even pick up the phone? It's going to happen. You're going to have bad days. In fact, rule of a third of your days are going to be really tough. A third of your days you're going to have a lot of cancellations, a lot of no sales, you'll feel down, you'll have a bad phone jam, it's going to happen. But you want to prepare for that before it does. So that way, when you're down and then you get that call, sweetie, like day 10, sweetie, you're just working so hard. Just come home to mama. Just come on, I'll take you out for dinner, buy your favorite ice cream. It's going to happen. You're just working so hard. You're so young to work so hard, sweetie. Like, you don't need to do this. I'll pay for it. You want 1,000? I'll give you 1,000. Oh, it's so sweet of you to want to take us on a trip, but you don't have to do that. We'll pay for our own trip. You don't have to do that. You want to pay for college? We'll pay for college. You don't need to do that. And then the doubt settles in. It's like, why did I want this in the first place? They're just going to give it to me. Why the hell? Why do I have to work so hard to earn this? They're just going to give it to me. Doubt settles in. Doubt leads to discouragement. Discouragement leads to a whole list of really bad emotions. Depression, angst, worry, fear. Right? So we gotta be equipped. How do we offset doubt if that settles in? Let's rapid fire through that list. What would you come up with? We'll just go down the line. 10 seconds or less. What was as many as that you came up with, and just steal from each other. Steal from each other. We'll start with Caroline.
Okay, well, what came up in my mind was this verse from the Bible in Matthew. It's like, do not worry about tomorrow, for today has enough trouble of its own. So you just gotta take everything one step at a time and focus on the now. And obviously still plan for the future, but you also can look at everything else you've accomplished and know you can still repeat that.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Past proof. I like this. Remind yourself of past accomplishments, so past proof, and be present, right in the now. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Just be in the present. What can I do at this moment? Love that. So if we keep them under 10 seconds, it'd be great. Grant, and then Sierra, and then Bella.
I like past proof a lot, and also just people here. I know people have done pushes and stuff like that before. I know Mason is killed with sales and stuff like that. And he's somebody in my friend group that I can just text and say,
Perfect.
Dude,
So reach out, circle of influence. This is good. So use our WhatsApp group, and ready? Show up to the office. Just come here. If you're in between appointments, come here. I'll be here most of the day. So just come here. Love that. Sierra, Bella, and if you don't have one, you can just say pass. But under 10 seconds, what's something that you could do to possible actions to take to avoid the doubt or to work through the doubt?
Yeah, I think of your goals, think of the outcomes, what you want to get out of all this work.
So remind yourself of the outcomes. So remind yourself of them. Bella?
So just realize that it's not the end of the world and it's something that you can learn from, and then
there's always room for improvement, so just take it as, like a learning curve.
Love that. Lessons. What can I learn from this? So that's a great question. What can I learn from this? What gift? Another way of saying that. What gift? What's the gift in this? RJ,
Call your cheerleader.
call your cheerleader.
Using my circle of influence to my advantage.
Using it. Excellent.
My dad always said to climb up a mountain, you have to think of what you'll look like at the top. So think
So
of
remind
that.
yourself of that
Yeah.
top, the peak. What's the peak feel like? One of the things I'll have you do is stand on a chair and imagine what the peak feels like. Right? I love that.
There's like this motivational video that my team and I watch, usually for like dance competitions.
Love that. Motivational videos are fantastic. So if you want to find that video and share it with the group, that'd be
Oh, yeah, for
fantastic.
sure.
Steven.
Think of the consequences.
So pain. Pain is also a very powerful tool, right? So we're motivated by pain or pleasure. So I love that. Remind yourself of the pain. What are the consequences of you not following through? So that could be a very powerful tool as well. And list them all out. What are the consequences if I do not follow through? If I do quit right now or if I back down, what are the consequences? What do I miss out on? Love that, Jules.
Oh, I should call your cheerleader.
Call cheerleader too, Josh.
Consequences and know my why.
Love that. Remind yourself of your why. Will.
Circles of influences outside the office.
Cool. So let me rapid fire through this and then we'll just we'll wrap up. We're right almost at that 90-minute mark. So expectations. If you're in town, you work your ass off, and you hit your goals. The push hours, as we mentioned, 10 to 6. Our expectations that you work from 10 to 6. And what's the intentionality? What are the outcomes we're after between 10 to 6? You hit your demo goal. You complete your demo goal for that day, right? You have the next 2 days of demo goals hit, right? That's the push hours. That's what we're gonna get accomplished. And on those appointments is to sell your CPO number, right? To avoid you definitely want to avoid goose eggs. No goose eggs. No, there should not be a day of work where you don't sell. So if you have 2 no sales and the 1 cancels, like you want to work your ass off to create that order or create another same day appointment, right? If you are out of town, you're on vacation. I had 1 or 2 of you say, yeah, but I'll be out of town, but I think I'll be able to work well. No, you're not. It's not going to be effective. Now you're trying to do 2 things at once. It's not healthy. So just be on vacation. Be out of town when you're out of town and grind when you're grinding. That's it. That's my expectation for you. Okay? What are my expectations today and the next 2 days? Today and the next 2 days. It's very important. My expectation is that you're early, but we start promptly at 7:30, so you're here every day before that. By the way, Dylan Fitz, you ask him, his alliance was at 7 a.m. and he drove down from Tarpon Springs, and we had Saturday mornings. So it was 6 days a week, not 5. 7 a.m., not 7:30, and Sunday started at 9 a.m. Not a potluck at 11 and we start at noon. Like, it was a lot more intense. I was also a lot more intense back then too. Had to go through my growth curve too. We're all learning. So win the day. This whole win the day concept. Win the day by 6 p.m. That's our focus. Why? Because I like to go off the grid at 6 when Lindsay gets off of work too. So I'm focused on helping you guys win your day by 6 so I can win my day by 6. Not to be confused that if you choose to do evening appointments and you choose to do evening phone times, that's your choice. You feel me? So like Josh, his choice is to do evening appointments and evening calls because he has his baseball. That was our agreement. Sierra, a lot of her appointments are in Alaska, which is evening time for her, so that's fine. That's our agreement. But majority of the scale is most of you get done and win the day by 6. So you can have evenings with your friends, your family. My focus, Sunday morning, do not do a demo. Have a great breakfast with your family. Go to church if that's your thing. And you get here ready to grind and make all day call day and sleep in if you want to on Sunday mornings. Saturday night, I want you to have fun with your friends Saturday night. Like, I want you to have a great time on Saturday night. And feel good. And celebrate your hard work during the week. But work your ass off when you're going to work your ass off and win the days by 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. This is my other expectation. It is a 1-day push 18 times. A 1-day push 18 times. I like what Caroline just said. You win the day. You focus on winning that day. Be present for that day. Grind to be done by that time. I want you to have a great experience during this push. I do want you to work hard. I want you to learn. And I want you to learn. I want you to earn. I want you to feel good. So don't think about this. Don't think about all the things that we talked about today as like a chore. It's really not. This is an opportunity. Josh is trying to go into MLB. We're rooting him on. Of course, it's an opportunity. Of course, he's going to work his ass off to do that. But it's an opportunity that he's chasing down and feeling excited about. It's not a chore that he's dreading to do. You feel me? That's what this is. It's an opportunity that you get to do. Being in this room is a special group, I promise you. It is a very special group that you're a part of. And I'm honored to be able to serve you. And I want you to have a great experience too. So, your schedules that we put on there, that we agreed on. And I'm going to make, actually, Will, can you help facilitate this?
Sure.
Just to make this list, and you could put it on a sheet of paper. Here, you can put it on this sheet of paper right here, of what their demo per day number is. Some of them it's 3, some of them it's 4, and that way I just have it on one sheet of paper from those are on the wall.
Day by day?
No, just because it's a per day number.
Oh, okay.
So you could just look and see, and you can shout it out what each person's is. I appreciate that.
Okay.
So while Will's gonna get this real quick, here's what I would say.
Where did you have it written down?
It's usually on the left side of each
Yeah.
floor.
So do you want to yell everyone's out?
Yeah, we'll go down the line, so that way we're crystal clear.
Cool. Hannah's is 4.
4 per day, so you just write that next to her name so that she knows it. So what's that? What is that? What does 4 per day mean? Her on the day she's working, it's complete 4, and then have 4 more set up for the next 2 days of work. Right?
Keep going.
Yeah, please.
RJ's is 3 plus, or 4 a day plus 3 blitz days.
So 4 per day with 3 blitz days.
Caroline's is not written down.
Do you remember what we talked about? What was it?
Like 5.
5 a day because you have a vacation, right? That's why I want you to part of the freaking rock star on the vacation. Let me try.
Riley's was 3 a day.
People who in Colorado who want some.
That's up to you.
Um,
That's voluntary.
Bella was 3 a day.
So make sure you have these down. Make sure you have them. We want to make sure it's clear.
Me is 3 a day. Steven is 3. Steven, 3. Josh, 3. I don't know which Josh. And then,
Oh,
I had 3, so.
I think both Joshes are 3.
I have 2. Cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
Josh
then
Josh
Josh
C is
2.5.
2.5, yeah. Because some days are 2 and some days are 3.
And then Grant is 3, and Jules is 4. Okay.
Cool, because she has a vacation. So ready? Here's what I would suggest, right? Wednesdays are going to be kind of like buffer days for some of you. A buffer day is a day that you organize your attack lists, you organize your spreadsheets, right? Maybe role play, some skills checks that you need to go through, and you might not do as many appointments on those days. Even though we try to focus on winning every day, that's going to be a tough day because we have the Wednesday night meeting and then we have the morning alliance meeting, right? So that's why Wednesdays are sometimes going to be buffer days. That's why we have blitz days in there. Thank you. That's why we have blitz days. You see? So the blitz days are to help offset the buffer days, and they're also to offset any cancellations that you might have. So that's why the blitz days are in there, the Tuesdays and the Saturdays. Why those days? Is because there's at least 2 phone call sessions that lead up to that day. Does everyone see this? Sunday, Monday to book up your Tuesday, and then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to book up your Saturday. That's why Friday or Saturday could be a blitz day for you. Bottom line is, the regiment of what we're talking about is more important than those blitz days. If you choose to go bigger for those blitz days, I think that could be a good idea, and I encourage that. But just win those days. Focusing on winning the days, that's important. I would schedule your appointments, this is a couple of random stuff, an hour and 45 minutes apart. So that way if you have more options to offer your customers to offset cancellations. An hour and 45 apart is what I would do. So in your weekly schedule sheets or your planners, your first appointments of the day on Mondays and Fridays should be at 10:30. Mondays and Fridays should be 10:30. Every other day should be 10. because Jeff has his conference calls on Mondays and Fridays. So you wanna take note of these, please, please, please take note of these. I just wanna make sure. That's where we're just, this should be a review for most of you. Mondays and Fridays, 10:30 a.m. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday should be 10 a.m.
Okay,
for your first appointments of the day.
cause we have the meetings in the morning,
Yeah,
right, okay.
Wait, we don't have the meeting on Saturday though.
no Saturday.
Yeah, so we could book like earlier than
You
that.
could do earlier than that. I propose a little bit morning phone time in case for some of you guys need on those Saturday mornings. All right, so let me continue wrapping this up. This is important stuff. Last few things that I need from a couple of you guys, and then I'll take you guys out for some bowling. All right, as far as attack list goals, so I have your numbers. What I want is your goal by Sunday at 11 a.m. How many will you have organized on your spreadsheet by Sunday at 11 a.m.? And it's got to be 150 plus, but how many you're at now versus how many you will have by Sunday at 11 a.m.? Cool, let me just go down the line real quick. So Will, you're at 143. How many will you have?
180.
180. Josh Spiegel,
Probably like 80 right now. And
I have you at 150 plus, so
wait,
so you're at 80 right now.
Yeah.
Will, you're at 143 though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how many will you have organized by Sunday 11 a.m.?
150.
How many?
150.
150? I would challenge that number, but I'll take it. It's like a 150's gotta be your low number, guys. Jules, you're at 120 organized. How many will you have by Sunday 11 a.m.?
Like for Sunday,
You leave town, when do you get back? When's your first phone jam? I'll come back to you, find out when that is. Steven, you're at 260 organized right now?
Yeah.
And how many will you have by Sunday? Stay that, or do you wanna have more, or what?
You know, same that.
Hannah, you're at 150 organized right now? Is that right?
yeah,
How many will you have by Sunday?
it's like how many I'll get this week,
So how many will you have organized on your
Um,
spreadsheet ready for
I'll-
Sunday at 11 a.m.?
180,
Riley, you're at 150 organized right now. How many will you have by Sunday at 11 a.m.?
200.
Josh Collette, you're at 100 organized right now. How many will you have Sunday?
175.
RJ, you're at 217. How many will you have?
300. They're just on for now.
Sierra, you're at 150 organized.
It's about 80,
80 organized. How many will you have by Sunday?
1.
Grant Presley, 197 organized. How many will you have Sunday? Caroline, you're at 188 organized. How many will you have Sunday?
200,
Can I change mine?
Yes.
225.
And Jules, when's your first phone jam?
I think it's Sunday, like 15.
The following Sunday, because you have vacation, right? So by that Sunday, how many we have?
200.
Okay. The next thing is, just so you guys know, I'm doing a cash grab this Sunday. So I'm bringing it back $300 cash on Sunday. That's only for the Alliance though. Cool? $300 cash. Every 2 appointments you book up, you get a grab. Just so you guys know.
What's the split gonna be?
I don't know.
A lot of
There'll be
ones.
cash in there. A lot of ones. But there'll be 50 in there, maybe a couple 20s, a couple 10s, 5s.
Do we get to look?
Hell no.
Never seen it.
Okay, let me continue. Let me continue real quick. I know we're all wrapping up, and I know I'm out of time. I got to get these couple agreements. Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday. I have times in my schedule for those of you guys that feel like you need help with your attack list. If anybody does anybody feel like they need help with creating more appointments? Sierra. So 10:15. Are you available on Tuesday?
Yeah.
So cool. Put 10:15. We'll have a 15-minute phone conversation. Grant LaPresse, I have you at 11 a.m. already.
Yep, perfect.
Riley, 10:30, 15-minute call.
Works.
Bella at 10:45. Can that work?
Yeah.
Hannah, 11:15. Can that work?
Yeah.
Josh Spiegel, can you do 9 a.m.?
Running, yeah.
Jules, Tuesday 11:30.
Do
Early
early.
8:45. Will, 11:30. You have the interview. So you'll be here, so I'll just maybe write in between that interview.
Okay.
Maybe,
Like
what,
12.
noon, okay, 12 noon. Everyone else feel good with that? Cool, next is Thursday, skills check day. What time gap do you wanna come in to do a skills check, where I quiz you on your close and drop down? So you wanna have your planners,
Thursday morning.
so it's 8:30? Did you already put this in your schedule? Please do.
But it's not like, is it like one person per?
So, no, I'm doing small
Are
groups.
we dividing it by closing type?
I was going to, but it's all like mixed up right now, I could, but
Okay.
And then what after Champions Club?
I have an 8:30 and I have a 10.
Okay, then 10.
Could I do 8:30?
I do 10.
Cool, go ahead, Anna.
Well, what do I do?
So I'm just gonna quiz you on your close and drop down and recommendation.
I'm gonna be at the airport.
So Tuesday, maybe Tuesday, so let's take 11:15 and I'll go till noon.
Okay.
Is that available on Tuesday?
Yeah.
So I'll do your
Wait, what are you quizzing me on?
your close and drop down and recommendation pro, page 8 through 12 and page 16.
Okay.
Jules?
I won't be here on Thursday as
So then Tuesday, at 8:45, I'll come in at 8 then,
well. Okay.
and I'll just do it from 8 to 8:45, just to be safe. Is that cool?
Yeah. What do you want, 10?
Sierra 10?
Yeah.
Cool. Who else skills check?
Can I do it at 10?
10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Who else? I have 8:30, 10, 11:30, 1:30, and 3. Or remember, our team meeting's right at 6 that night, key staff at 5.
For what day? Just
This is only on Thursday, that's what I'm doing on Thursday. Skills check. Close drop down recommendations.
what's the latest you have Thursday?
3.
Only 3.
Who else?
What other times you have Thursday?
8:30, 10, 11:30, 1:30, and 3.
Can I do 10?
10? Anyone else? Is that everyone? Okay. I was, as far as teams go, so here's, I'm not gonna give you your, I'll give the captains tonight, but I won't tell you the teams yet. I'll talk to my staff tomorrow. I have captains are gonna be Steven, Chelsea, Will, RJ, and Mason are gonna be the 5-team captains. I might end up splitting it into 4 teams versus 5, but that's what I have at this moment in time. What I wanna do is I wanna make a bet, and the winning team will get, last year it was Will's team, and then we took him out to Texas to Brazil. I'd like the teams to, I wanna do something fun. Last year we did a $15 wager, each person put in $15, the winning team, and then I matched the pot. So if you guys put in $15 each, then I match it, if there's 15 of you, and then I match it at $225, or whatever that number is, I think it's whatever it is, so we have like 400 something bucks that we go do a fun night out. Or a fun something out. It makes it interesting, it makes it fun, it makes it exciting. So if you have extreme opposition to putting in $15 and being part of it, it just makes it fun. But we'll talk about that. Captains, I'll sign to collect the stats each day, and then there's certain points. Every 500 you sell for the push or for the day is a point. 2 sponsors a point, and 4 demos booked for the day is a point, or 2 points rather. If you have a goose egg day, it's -1. If you show up late by 1 minute, it's -1. If you miss a meeting, it's -3.
-3.
Here's the kicker. Every friend you recruit during the next 3 weeks, everything they sell, every 500 they sell is a point for your team. So RJ has his friend Danielle that's starting training this week. So that's already an extra $500 for everything that she sells. So if any of you guys have friends that are starting this next upcoming week, this will kind of help you, help your team, help you win some free nights. So that'll be fun. And communications review, I'll review that on next Monday morning with our first alliance meeting. But essentially, you're going to clock in and clock out with me. I'm going to be your coach. I'll be your point of contact. And we'll be using our SC2 squad group for all hot updates and everything like that. So we're one unit, we have one heartbeat, and we'll get ready to rock and roll. So it's going to be a great push. So rapid fire speed, real quick. What do you appreciate right now? Under 10 seconds. What do you appreciate right now? And biggest takeaway for today. So what do you appreciate right now? Biggest takeaway for today. And that takes us a little bit over 90 minutes, which I apologize. So let's roll. So please.
Appreciate being able to go bowling tonight, and then, yeah,
Biggest takeaway from the meeting.
language, communication.
Cool. So Grant, what do you appreciate? Biggest takeaway?
I appreciate this big group, everybody here supporting us, circle of influence. And I think just all the mental battles, all the talk about that, took that out of today, that's really great.
Sierra, then we'll go RJ and then Bella.
Yeah, I'm excited for the push with you guys, and also to play. Equip yourself when opportunity presents itself.
Good. Everyone take 15 seconds and find that big takeaway to make it quick for this side of the room, just so you know what you're going to say. So RJ, Bella, Josh.
I appreciate everybody being here and feeding your mind with Mike's talk. And biggest takeaway was definitely be ready in the morning and get ready for your day before the day and after, like when the day starts.
Excellent. Bella, Josh, Briley, and then Hannah.
Yeah, I just appreciate being able to be a part of this group, and then the same thing, your appearance, just waking up, getting ready for the day.
Excellent.
I appreciate the opportunity to grow as a person with all you guys over the push and whatever. And my biggest takeaway was finding my cheerleader.
Cool.
I appreciate the fact that I have the chance to improve myself through this job, and biggest takeaway was appointments are more important than CPO.
Excellent.
I also appreciate this group, and my biggest takeaway is probably training your mind to win.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate meetings like this, and biggest takeaway was your mental toughness and when you wake up in the morning.
Excellent. Cool. Jules.
I appreciate the knowledge that we learned tonight, and the biggest takeaway was like get the little wins and use all the tools to get the little wins in order to be successful.
Excellent. And Joshua.
I appreciate the push coming up, and my biggest takeaway was seeing it as like an opportunity and not a chore.
Good. Excellent. Well.
I appreciate getting to sell. I mean, it's fun. And my biggest takeaway was I got some work to do with my numbers, so.
Good. Good. And that's the beautiful part about management. Will's been working hard at coaching all of you. Did anybody get an interview run by Will this summer? Did Will run your interview? Anyone in this room? No one in this room?
So we're all Chelsea's?
So is everyone Chelsea or me? I guess Chelsea or me.
I was you, might as well.
So here's what I'll tell you. Will's working hard behind the scenes. Chelsea's working hard behind the scenes, and that's the part of assistant managers. They work real hard. They grind behind the scenes to build this group, help us coach, train, and recruit, and then we unleash the beast and help them go out and sell a lot of Cutco. So. It's exciting. Well, we love our leadership core, and this is the time for our assistants to sell. And I just want to say thank you guys. I know it's a Sunday night. I know it's a lot of hours that some of you guys have been here, and it's an investment. It's an investment of all of our time. But we don't work like this forever. I don't work like this forever. You don't work like this forever. We grind. We work hard for a couple of weeks, and we'll create very exciting opportunities for our future. So. Thank you for your time. And just so you guys know, Liberty Lanes is right up the road on Starkey.
Hey Mike, I have a couple questions.